the Shiva, right?
I believe so. So I'm really
Yeah.
excited for this one. I mean, both of these teams coming in, not losing a single map so far in the qualifier here. One team has to lose, and it's going to be a good one. Breach Hardpoint to start things off here.
And of course, very interesting banner protect, like we said. The stock targeting the airs, fast hands, targeting everybody. It's going to be very, maybe I would say, slower gunfights. It's going to be a little bit slower for people to adapt to these very important perks and attachments being taken out of the game. And of course, we saw some Variks being used yesterday, maybe not as much. We saw some Dingos. Are we going to see that come out once again? Seeing Danny, the first one to spawn up with the VMPs, so it's going to be probably VMPs around the board. We're seeing some FMJ attachments, very interesting there. M8 with the reflex out of Rarity, she's going to be the AR to watch. And of course, we have the ICR to Vixen. That's going to be the AR of choice for that squad.
I sort of like that play, right? Meanwhile, it looks like Brit will be taken out on the top of Broken, and that's not a good sign for Orbit. Well, what is a good sign? Minnesota Mocha able to pick up 2 inside the hill, but thinking back to the play with that ICR, you can play a little bit closer and inside some of these hardpoint hills with it. You think of a Man of War, it will be sort of the second AR picked up. The HVK and the ICR really making their case in some of these matches.
Of course, I'm thinking I'm seeing a Thermite tactical equipped by Rarity, so I wonder if she's going to start throwing these in these hills to really solidify for a team, or maybe bring back the lead in her favor. Currently, Danny going to be contested on the hill, but she's going to be taken out there by Mocha, who's on the hill, and she gets quickly traded by Vixen. Gold Diggers now on the hill, racking up time for their squad. Pretty equal points so far, 15 seconds left on the first hill. Scrap time going in favor of Orbit, it seems, and now the players are going to be fighting for that back anchor position, currently held by Brit using the M8, but she's going to be taken off there by Danny. So great rotations there by Gold Diggers. They're going to have anchor, and now Orbit are spawning out.
That's a beautiful play by Brit. She goes for that rotation very early. She's able to pick up an early kill as well, but she didn't have the teammate support there that she needed. The rest of her teammates were either in the middle of the map or spawning way out, but now they've worked their way back inside of the hill. Minnesota Mocha is able to pick up that kill on Sierra. She's 25 away from picking up some more score streaks, and here comes the push from Gold Diggers. It looks like Danny will be the first one to push. She's going to be the intro player here, but she does have this teammate support. Cannot wait to see the push come out.
Of course, Megatron currently holding the hill, but she's going to be currently taken out by Danny, who's just been wreaking havoc on the other squad. Vixen going to hold that hill time, but she's going to be switching on over, try to help her anchor position. Mocha now taking that last 15 seconds of scrap time, throwing trophies on the hill. Gold Diggers now have rotations over to this Palace Hill, and very great rotations. They have all their 4 players set up, 3 players of Orbit trying to rotate and get this set up. Counter UAVs also coming in by Gold Diggers. Let's see what Rarity and squad can do.
Looks like Megatron lost a huge gunfight there. Brit will be able to pick up one. Going for the second, cleans that one up as well. Really good start to this break coming from Orbit, but here's what I do not like. All 4 of these players are coming through the same entrance over around this bar area. Now Brit hits the wall run. The team kill comes in. Brit is able to stay alive. We need to see how she pushes from this side. We'll pick up one more. Make that the 5 streak. Try to make it 6. Not able to connect.
But at least the Orbit, they were coming from one side, but hitting the wall run. They had one player on the other side. They're trying to surround this hardpoint, but they're not able to break it. Gold Diggers having a fantastic hold, trying to stack all their players on it. Only Vixen left on the hill, and she's now going to be rotating. Actually, with 20 seconds left, they're going to give up that hill, it seems, to Orbit, who are finally taking it over in the last 20 seconds. So not the greatest break by Orbit that we've seen, but now early rotations coming in. It looks like Orbit might be set up for this next greenhouse hardpoint, but as you can see, Gold Diggers rotating all 3 players together to hopefully set up some trades for those intro kills. However, Danny getting that last couple seconds of scrap time. They have 2 players on that last hill, and now Orbit have way more players on the new hill. Also, Mocha having the heat wave on this hill is going to be huge for her squad.
See a split push now, getting ready to come out of Gold Diggers. Minnesota Mocha has one pretty much right above her. And look at this, she goes for the gunfight, won't be able to pick that one up. iRarity now inside of the hill. She switched classes. I noticed on the last time she was up, she was able to adapt. We talked a little bit about that fast hands of being gone in this one. She's using a laser sight on her VMP. So definitely some of these players are adapting to what we saw in the Banjo Protects, and Gold Digger's doing a really good job at holding this hill down right now. Danny hasn't had to get in a single gunfight, but she's forced to now. Picks up one, tries to turn and pick up the second, and even if she does, that's a 3-person push coming out of the side of Orbit.
I would have liked to see a Sivers use her heat wave. She does have it in her back pocket, trying to challenge that greenhouse hill. She was taken out, leaving all that scrap time to Orbit, who are finally climbing back into this game. That really good hold from Palace and pretty much a pretty solid hold from Greenhouse is allowing them to climb back into this game. But now the next hill, it's going to be highly contested here over in this lab area. Who's going to get that anchor position? It seems I believe it's Rarity who's holding that sort of anchor position for her squad, but it's going to be highly contested. Now she has to challenge the hill with the Man of War, able to pick up one, and now Orbit, once again, solid hold of this hill.
Look at that, the rotation. As soon as the Sivers gives up sort of that spawn position, Vixen rotates over, picks up a kill inside the hill for herself. Now she's looking for a second, not able to pick that up, but she has 3 teammates inside of the hill. Danny's going to be the next one to challenge, doesn't pick that one up. Meanwhile, Sierra picks up one on the other side. Orbit now, with the spawns in their favor, able to put so much pressure on this hill. They can tie the game right now.
Let's see if that's going to happen. Orbit, solid hold, but we see all 3 players of Gold Diggers are going to be in this middle hill just trying to pick them off, and they're going to be set up for this next rotation. Hopefully, Gold Diggers can get enough time here. It's a tie game currently. Mocha contesting the last hill time, using the HCXD, not able to do it. The Flak Jacket coming in hand to save some lives. Mocha also having full streaks, the Hellstorm, Lightning Strike, and HCXD. We hear the Scythe coming out of Brit. Let's go on board here with her, who's currently actually just on this top AC area, and also Lightning Strikes coming in from Danny, only able to pick up one, but Brit picking off the head glitch from, I believe that was one of the players from Gold Diggers, but Orbit now set up on this middle hill.
I like what Orbit was able to do there, right? We saw 2 of the specialist use. It was the coordinated push. Now we see it, I think, coming from the other side as well. Danny has pulled out the Annihilator, but it was one thing that I noticed last night. Gold Diggers going against Notorious. Notorious wasn't just able to make those coordinated pushes that you need in a game mode like Hardpoint, any of the game modes, and what they were definitely not able to do was match the slaying power coming out of Gold Diggers. A Sivers picking up 4 in a row there inside of the hill.
Of course, and now Sierra's going to get the last bit of scrap time. Rotation is going to be key for this next hardpoint. And as you can see on your minimap, Orbit set up perfectly as I think it's Megatron and Brit sitting in the hill, and Rarity on that back anchor. She's going to be in trouble, though, challenged by 2 players from Gold Diggers. And now I believe that's going to be Mocha trying to rotate back to that anchor position. So I like how Orbit are exchanging roles, communicating, and trying to keep that anchor position, which is key, because spawning out on this hill can give you so much trouble. I think it's a good 10 seconds or 15 seconds to rotate back. However, Mocha is still having her Hellstorm and Lightning Strike in her back pocket. Could be using it to stop the rotations from Gold Diggers. However, they're going to come behind them. Vixen able to pick up one, but Megatron quickly trades that with a nice 2-piece.
Well, speaking of trouble, Gold Diggers, Danny has been going off. She's on a 3 streak. She's rotated all the way around. Now has the teammates that she needs. A Sivers comes in, pops the heat wave, picks up the kill on Megatron, and now Danny is free to move right back outside of the hill. And just as she does, her teammate's taken out.
Of course, I like the weapon switch from Brit, able to pick up the VMP, jump in the hill, and at least pick up 2 players, and also now has the MA to watch that back spawn. However, only 7 seconds left. At least she's able to get that scrap time for Orbit, and it's such a close game. They're going to need all the points they can get. Now over on this Palace area, let's see if Gold Diggers can do what they did last time. Let's start with Danny with a nice 2-piece, currently on a 2-streak. Sierra, they're on the hill with her, able to call out the players coming from middle map. Trophies as well set up for these tacticals. Brit, nice 2-piece there with her, and Rarity also getting some kills on the hill, and now Orbit are going to be the ones holding this Palace hardpoint.
Look at that. The push comes out of Orbit. Megatron uses her active camo. She has an HCXD to work with. This is looking good for Orbit. They can definitely extend this lead, but they need to be worried about the push now coming out of Gold Diggers. Megatron's able to shut down one. That's Fiction. She's looking for a second. Cleans up Danny as well. 2 more players coming from Gold Diggers, and I mentioned this before. I'm going to mention it again. Put some pressure on Palace Bridge as well. Don't all flood this one side. But with 15 seconds left in this hill, Gold Diggers still have control of this spawn, and Sivers has already started the early rotation over to the greenhouse.
And it's going to be 2 players from Gold Diggers on early rotations, but they're going to be met by 4 players of Orbit. Of course, Gold Diggers, for some reason, still have 2 players on the old one. Of course, now they're spawning out Orbit. The heat wave being activated. Sivers with the 2-piece. Brit trying to trade her off with a kill of her own. Now 3 players of Orbit stacking in the hill. Brit's going to be on top of the hardpoint, calling in her Hellstorm, trying to pick off these players from Gold Diggers. Also, the counter UAV in effect for Gold Diggers as well. Danny and Sierra on the hill. Going to be met by some players from Orbit coming through the middle of the map, but challenging one by one. Rarity's going to be waiting for her teammates to come up with her. This is going to be a huge and important break for Orbit.
This is the type of setup you want to see on this greenhouse hill, but you don't want Vixen to fall off the map at that point. That's 3 down in favor of Orbit. They're able to flood the hill and take control with less than 30 seconds remaining. You see where Gold Digger spawns out. They're going to take a coordinated push to make sure Orbit cannot win on this hill.
Of course, now only 30 seconds left for Orbit to close out the game, but Gold Diggers are not very far behind as Sivir's going to be taken out on the hill. Danny there for the scrap time. She's not going to challenge this gunfight. Rotations coming in for Orbit. All 4 players are going to be set up for this next hill, solidifying also that anchor position there by Mocha, who has the VMP, but she also has the Lightning Strike and H60 if she'd like to break the hill or stop some rotations from the other squad. Rarity, Megatron, and Brit stacking this hill. We got M8 watching the front door. We got the VMP Megatron using the active camo, spotting another player. She actually turns around and gets taken out, allowing that entry from Gold Diggers to come into the hill. Sivir's taking out Sierra. Now trying to use that active camo, needs to get this kill, but the HCXD comes in, is able to take her out. Great kill there by Mocha.
I'm surprised they didn't use the Lightning Strike on that last one. She can definitely really mess up the rotation coming from the other side. Now look at this, Brit just trying to hold this one down. Looks like she will end the game on the 4th streak. She's able to pick up this kill. That will make it 5. One more needs to go in their favor here by side door. They're not able to pick up the kill. Gold Diggers takes control of the hill.
Oh my god, if we're seeing the comeback right now, only 10 seconds left, so this is all going to be about this middle hill, but Brit just called in, I believe it was a Cerberus, and now Rarity, the 2-piece Megatron with the 3, so now just 1 point away for Orbit, and that's going to finish her up 250 to 225, and Gold Diggers, honestly, they were leading the game, weren't they, at the beginning? And Orbit climbing back into it is a fight for every scrap time. All the early rotations from each squad, it really came down to the breaks that allowed the other team to spawn so far away and giving that extra 10 seconds of time. I thought that was a pretty back and forth game, to be honest.
Yeah, I really like what I saw from both sides. It was back and forth the entire time.